So we had a 2018 Honda Accord come in with 105,000 miles on it. Has a CVT transmission. And all of a sudden it wouldn't go no more. Well, CVT transmission is basically like your old style 10-speed bicycle with the chain and all the gears you change with your front railer and your rear railer. It's kind of like that kind of scenario, but it's encased in a big box with an engine attached to it, and it transmits power to the wheels through here. So what happens is the engine turns torque converter. That turns into power applied to this shaft here. You can see there's a gap here. This changes width, as you can see. When it does that, it takes this belt that's falling apart and it sits way down in the hole there until it's squeezed tighter, and then it's way up high. That changes your drive power dimensions, or speed rather. So this wide open here would be a slower speed than it would be with it closed. It would make it a higher speed, much like your front derailleur on a 10-speed bicycle. Well, not really higher speed as much as it is requiring more torque to get that higher speed without revving up the engine. When this moves, the output increases or decreases in response to give you a reactive dimension to allow for drive speed up to the wheels to change and keep the RPMs down on the engine. Much like pedaling a bicycle, you change the dimension here. You're not pedaling as fast, but you're pedaling harder to get faster speed out of the wheels. If you ever wonder what a park gear looks like, put your car in park and you let it roll a slight bit. That's what you're feeling. You're seeing the action here of your parking prole. This is why you don't roll and throw it into park, because you can break this out, you can break this out, you can break this out. This is the basic operation of a CVT transmission. Neat idea, not very durable, but it is a neat idea. I would prefer to see these on four-wheelers, not on vehicles that we drive every day. They're just not that tough. And I almost forgot, this is the evidence of a failed CVT belt. So these little pieces of metal here are what keep two bands of metal together. And if you've ever played with metal, you know you can work it back and forth. It'll eventually break. And in the meantime, it'll get hot right in the area you're flexing it. Well, these are like spring steel bands. You can see there's a bunch of them here. So they've allowed for the flexibility of constantly tweaking like this as it rotates around both pulleys. Not to mention it driving your car. It's done pretty well for what it is. But they do wear out, they do break, and you do wind up going nowhere when they do break. But for what they are, I would say not too bad a job. Change your fluid more often. This might last longer also.
How often would you recommend changing the fluid on a CVT transmission?
CVT transmission, minimum 40,000 mile intervals. It keeps the fluid fresh, it keeps it lubricating, and it helps prevent this from happening.